Flat X here with MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. So we're going to do a platinum playthrough on this game, preparing for MechWarrior 5 Clans that will be coming out in a few weeks at the beginning of October 2024. And so I'm going to start a new campaign here to do this platinum playthrough, and MechWarrior 5 Clans is a separate game. It is not a DLC. Why they kept the same number, MechWarrior 5, who knows. But anyway, it is a separate game. Looking forward to it. But let's go ahead and start a new campaign and get started here. We're going to skip the tutorial. If you've never played before, you definitely need to do
the tutorial.
Humanity
began colonizing the stars. Their reach would eventually span a vast region of space known as the Inner Sphere. During its golden age, under the governance of the Star League, the Inner Sphere experienced unprecedented peace, prosperity, and technological advancement. But with a great rise comes a great fall. Beset by greed and mistrust, humanity splintered. The Star League crumbled. Technological advancement slowed. The great houses, each vying for supremacy, turned on one another, engaging in a series of conflicts known as the Succession Wars. Amidst this chaos, mercenaries became the proxy forces for the great houses. Numerous battlefields sprung up across the Inner Sphere, dominated by hulking war machines known as battle mechs. The year is now 3015, and these steel behemoths have become the tools of the mercenaries' trade. It's a lucrative time, yet one beset with perils of all kinds. Only the most skilled and brave among them will rise to become legend.
I'm at the rendezvous point, but our contact isn't here. You see anyone, son?
The salvage crates at the last checkpoint were empty. Something's up if they're missing payments.
This is Commander Mason of Major Campbell. Make a note. Looks like someone is gonna need a lesson in paying their bills on time.
Mason, repeat.
That's odd.
Invasion forces.
What the hell?
Commander Mason, I repeat, a massive invasion force is attacking the planet.
Acknowledged. I have a visual.
It's planet-wide, sir. We're evacuating.
We need to take what we have and go. The fastest way is across the swamp. Captain, where are you going?
It's possible they left the cash at the last checkpoint in the city. Let's get the money and run, Commander.
This is reckless. We need to get back to base.
They're distracted with the invasion. We'll be in and out before they know we're here.
Let's hope it's not us they're after. I don't like this, son. This is a ghost town.
We're close. I can smell the seatbelts.
There's nothing here.
Relax. We'll be out of here in no time.
We're being tagged. Look out! Incoming airstrike!
That was a spider mech, the light mech. It tagged him for an airstrike. Spiders are very fast.
Captain Mason, what's your status?
I'm fine, Commander. Left arm is offline is all.
That was close. Return to base now.
I am not leaving you behind.
We were set up, and you're in no shape to fight. Meet me at the extraction point with the Leopard. Go! Now, Captain!
Damn it. On the move.
Commander, an enemy dropship is approaching your position. Move, now!
I've got eyes on. Identified. Hunchback and King Crab. Damn it. Rihanna, any idea what these guys want?
I picked up some chatter about coordinates of some kind. That mean anything to you?
Coordinates? No, Rihanna. Promise me you won't leave without Jake. Promise me.
Commander, I promise. Captain Mason, what's your status?
I've got a bug on my tail. Get the bay doors open! Coming in hot!
Casualty count is rising rapidly. Hurry!
En route!
Commander Jake is on board. We're taking off.
We can't leave him here. We gotta get him support. Dad, we're coming.
No, leave now. The Cavaliers need you. I'm leaving you in command. You're going to do great things. I just know it.
I'm sorry, Captain. I have to get us out of here. Hold tight.
All right, so that's basically the campaign kind of start. Now there's basically a series of 4 missions that you have to complete before you get into the free roam and can do as you please. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rush through these missions just because I want to get them all done in a single episode. So again, feel free to listen to that if you choose when you play.
Hey, mate.
I mean, I really don't care for this campaign. Like, the story kind of sucks. This is just kind of a, you know, any of these menus across the top that you go to, it's going to give you a little, you know, give you a little thing that just popped up telling you about it, telling you how to use it. But basically, when I select this mech, this is the Centurion that just got its arm blown off. I need to repair it. I can either hit repair, and it gives me a summary of what needs repaired, how much it costs, and how long it will take. 11. Now, anytime you're in a conflict zone like we're in now, there's a penalty in both cost and time. So that's the red part, and then the total is below 500,000, 47 days. But what I'm going to do first is, when you select it, if you go to loadout here, and this basically shows you all of your, like, your layout. Let me go ahead and just hit the, if you look there where it says view mode, it's the pad on the controller. It goes from weapons to details. So this basically gives you all of your like your slots, the number of, you know, slots in each section of the mech. and this is the room you're limited to as far as what you can put there. So everything in yellow is damaged and needs repaired. So if we hit repair all, then we can like I don't need, well, tell you what, for right now I'm just going to leave it as is. I was going to go ahead and do a modification to it to my preference. I don't need 2 tons of LRM ammo, and I was going to use that ton to put some extra armor on it. But I think I'll just go ahead and hit start and get those repairs underway. It's very important that you start those repairs. I tried to do a playthrough where I didn't really need to repair it in the conflict zone, suffering that penalty. Plus I was waiting for the weapons that I wanted to swap it out, but you're going to need it later. You're going to need it during those 4 missions. And so in the meantime, we'll be using this one. So go ahead and make sure you repair that. And then I'm not sure if I can get all 4 of these done in 1 hour, considering I played through that,
Hey, Commander.
you know, the beginning cutscene or beginning cinematic. View transmission. I'm not going to read that. Smash and grab. It's the first mission. Contracts. This tells you kind of what's up with contracts. But then once you select the contract, then you've got negotiations. Go with payout. Starting out, go with payout, because salvage, there's nothing, like, at this point in the game, you're not going to get any salvage. It's going to be, that pays out more than that extra 250,000 right there. So you got 3 points starting out. That just gives you an extra 3 more points for a total of 6. Again, there's nothing you need that's going to be more valuable than that 250,000 extra right there. Damage coverage is, again, like with this little 30-ton mech, the Javelin, if you take over $250,000 worth of damage, or C-bills is what they're called, if you take over 250,000 in damages, this mech is destroyed. Like, it cannot handle that much damage. So again, just put your negotiation point in payout and go ahead and get started. Now again, I'm going to kind of rush through this mission. Hopefully I can get through at least the first 3 missions, and then the Centurion should be ready for the... Actually, the Centurion should be ready for the 3rd one. So you'll be using the Centurion for that 3rd and 4th mission. After that 4th mission, then you'll be into the free roam. You'll be able to go anywhere in the galaxy, or the inner sphere. What limits what limits how far you can go is basically money. I mean, you're a mercenary, you do have to work. You do have to make money because space travel costs money. So you're limited by your resources as far as the amount of C-bills that you have, as far as traveling. So again, early on in the game, you start with like 2 million credits. So you're not going to be able to jump all the way to the other side of the galaxy without running out of money. So you know, again, you're going to have to, just once you hit the free roam area, just start looking for jobs, which we'll get into that in a later episode after we get to that free roam area.
Find and destroy that generator before assaulting the plant, and you'll have a much easier time of it.
Alright, now real quick, let me go over weapon groups. So I've got 2 medium lasers on trigger 1, I believe that's the right trigger, and trigger 2, the other 2 lasers, that's the left trigger. So firing 2 lasers at once is actually good, because most of the turrets and a lot of the vehicles, like the helicopters and stuff that you'll come across, it only takes like a dual laser blast to take them out. So again, having 2 grouped is perfect. But what I also want to do is, that's the right bumper, and then hit triangle for chain fire. What this will do is it'll fire 1 at a time, 1 after each other. And by the time you fire all 4, you'll only have a brief second before the first one is cooled down and start firing again. So this is just a constant firing one laser at a time, and then that'll be the right bumper, and then the left bumper I'll fire all four at one time without being chain fired. So this way, right trigger fires 2 lasers, left trigger fires 2 lasers, right bumper fires one at a time. I'd have to hold it down and just keep, or tap it to fire one at a time, or just hold it down again, do the chain fire where it just fires one at a time and just repeatedly. And then left bumper will fire all 4 if they're all like cooled down and ready to fire. And make sure when you're in these menus you do not hit circle. Circle is always canceling, so you'll just completely cancel all the work that you just did, the configuration you just made. So make sure you hit square, which is to apply your changes, and then we are set to go. Triangle targets.
Heads up, Commander. I'm detecting.
And you got to look at range.
Could be a raider patrol.
That vehicle is out of range of these lasers. And if you look on the right side, the list of one other thing. You see, when I let go of my joystick, I'm having to push up on the left joystick to throttle. Up on the D-pad, go to advanced, and then turn throttle decay off. And then now once I push up, I can let go of that joystick and my throttle not decay or go down. Whoop. Now the little crosshairs, you have to pay attention to the crosshairs. That I've got 2 crosshairs on the screen. The one to the far right, that's my arms. I don't have any weapons on my arms, so that's pretty much. So what I can do here is go back here. Well, I can't pause. Go back to advanced, turn arm lock on. That way those cursors are locked both in one place, which that's going to represent my torso. Again, that other crosshairs is torso. So basically I have 2 lasers in my right torso, 2 lasers in my left torso. So they're only gonna fire in the direction your torso is twisted, and it can only go up to that point right there. Any weapons on your arm, though, you have much more like reach and mobility as far as, you know, the range that they can target. So it's better to have weapons on your arms than your torso, because you have such a limited range or range of like targeting range, or targeting like range isn't really the right word, but if we just shoot that right there, that'll shut down the turrets.
The turret should be disabled now.
And see, especially these helicopters, arm weapons are much better, but there we go. All right. Bottom left corner of the screen is your armor. So it all starts in yellow. Yellow is just minor damage. Orange is a little bit, you know, heavier damage. Red is, I mean, it goes from yellow to red. So it goes yellow, orange, and then red, and the intensity of the color just shows how much damage it's taken. Once the armor is gone, it will then be a solid color representing your structure underneath the armor. Once the structure once the structure is destroyed, then the limb is completely destroyed. 3 ways to take down a mech are to blow off both legs, which would mean taking off the armor on both legs and destroying the structure on both legs. The other way to take down a mech is the center torso. So first you'd have to rip off the armor, or rip through the armor, either on the front or the rear. The torsos have front armor and rear armor. There we go.
Okay, there's the geothermal power plant up ahead. There's a number of
So whether
storage
you,
buildings in and around
my
the
general
plant
rule of thumb, I was
itself.
going to wait to
suspect
do
that's
that
where
when I
they're
went
storing
through
their
the refitting and
Time to
the
smash and grab, Commander. Once you locate the storage crate,
that
mark it
screen
with
that I
the
was
gun
at
and move on
before
to the next building.
when I was repairing that
From my
Centurion.
initial scans of the site, I've marked where I think the crates could be located.
I'll go
Look
over it
there first.
again in detail when I
Good
refit
work.
mechs.
Marked for pickup. Commander, it appears the derelict plant has a network of
But
backup
my
generators
general rule
running.
of thumb
Destroy them if you
is
can.
on the torsos, center, left, and right. I just follow the same rule of thumb. Is 3/4 on the front, 1/4 on the back. So the front armor should be 3 times the armor on the rear. So if you've got 40 armor for the center torso, that means 30 would be on the front, 10 would be on the back. So again, the second way to take down a mech, the first one, blow it off both legs. The second one, destroy the center torso, meaning rip through the armor, whether it be the front or the back, and then destroy the structure. Which, that is the most expensive thing, because that's basically the engine. That's the whole operating system for the mech, is the center torso. So a lot of times you'll get an explosion that will keep you from even being able to salvage the mech. Like the mech, if you destroy the center torso, most of the time the mech does not show up on the salvage screen for you to be able to salvage it and then repair it, use it yourself. So destroying the center torso is again not good for salvage, because even if it does show up on the salvage screen, it's very expensive to repair it. Still cheaper than buying it though. Like, it's still cheaper than buying it from the merchant or market. But still very expensive to repair.
Say a weapons depot or something. I won't object.
Understood.
So you can see the little green triangle on the top of the compass there. That's our drop ship, the Leopard. So we just have to head there to extract. But there is an optional mission. What Rihanna was saying as far as destroying a weapon depot. I would say depot, but depot, she said. A weapon depot. That's this area right here. Now, light and medium mechs cannot just walk through walls. You'd have to destroy them with weapon fire, melee attack, like you can literally punch it. But I find the best way to destroy these buildings, as long as it's not something that blows up like fuel tanks. I mean, there are things that do blow up and will do damage to your mech. But these buildings like this, most effective, best way to do damage is just to like walk through it. But things like that generator laying on the ground right there, sometimes that does cause damage to your mech when you step on it. So for those right there, it's best to shoot them. All right, and that right there, boom, see it? Fuel tank. All right, so we've done the job here and destroyed. That was an optional. We didn't have to do that, but we'll get bonus payout for doing it. Optionals are just a way to increase your payout at the end of the mission. And a lot of these tanks are shooting short-range weapons. Those machine guns, flamers, they have a limited range. So the best thing to do is just stay at a distance. Don't let them get close to you. That way they're not doing so much damage to you.
Target acquired.
That one's got a laser, so it's got... No. Yeah, that one's got a laser, so... That laser's got... Damn it. Come on.
Target destroyed.
Sometimes your legs get twisted around. Like I said, if you've never played before, you definitely need to do the tutorial as far as learning how to... One joystick controls the torso. The right joystick, so as my legs keep moving in the same direction, I can still twist my torso and fire in different directions that I'm moving. And then the left joystick controls your legs. And throttle. Up, throttle up, back, throttle down, or down, throttle down, up, and then left and right to turn. And then the torso, left and right to twist, up and down to look up and look down. So it gets a little, the controls take a little getting used to.
Nice work.
So definitely need to do the tutorial
Able to recover the materials
if you've
we
never
needed
played.
from that raider cache. And Fahad has already started the repairs to the Leopard and Centurion. You've made him a very happy man, though I doubt he'll admit it.
Yeah, again, I really don't like this campaign. I prefer just to, when you can choose a mercenary company and where you start. Where you start determines the mechs that you start with. And then there's DLC. You can select the DLC to kind of advance yourself in the timeline to when that DLC was designed to start you with, and you'll have, starting mechs. So there's different ways to start, but in order to get the Platinum Trophy, you have to do the campaign. Alright, so we've got our 3 salvage points. We've got a tier 1 medium laser that has the most value and, well, the most useful. I don't really ever use flamers, but there's a tier 1 flamer. Tier 1 machine gun. I think I'll pick up that tier 1 machine gun. And small laser. Not much value on that. Let's not do that. Let's just take the next best value. So again, like I was saying, the salvage, you can see there was not really that much value on salvage. And value does not mean what you sell it for. You sell it for a very small percentage to what its value is. So again, in that first mission, you definitely want to select, put your negotiation point in payout for total C-Bill. So I made 600,000 on that payout. That optional added, it was 500,000. It was 250,000 base with my negotiated, negotiation point adding another 250 for a total of 5. And then the optional, because I completed that optional, that added another 100,000, which did go over right there in that summary on the right. This right here gives you that's your Commander Mason is you, and that gives you your skills. So you're starting out at basically, you're a fresh pilot. Looks like you're across the top is ballistic weapons. That's things like auto cannons and machine guns, stuff that requires ammo. Then you've got energy weapons. Well, there's no ammo, but they do generate more heat. And then missiles. You got short range, you got long range missiles. So those are your 3 weapon skill sets. And then at the bottom, you've got armor. So the higher your armor goes, the more damage resistant you become. The middle one is your heat management. I'm not really sure how that skill plays in. I mean, heat is heat, but that's what that is, the heat management. So I'm not, again, sure how to explain how that plays in. But the right one is evasion. So the higher you get your evasion, the more likely you are to evade even being hit, or maybe even, it's just more damage reduction. You know what I'm saying? It helps you be more sustainable in battle. Extra 50k, speak to FOD. And again, I'm trying to rush through this. I need to quit spending so much time talking because I want to get, I'm at 30 minutes right now, so I got another 30 minutes. I want to get at least the next 2 missions done before ending this episode. That's why I'm skipping through all this dialogue stuff. Alright, so the next mission, again, C-Bills. So it added another 250,000.
Mind the weather, Commander.
Confirm.
It'll compromise your
Now, if you want to view the
visibility.
contract again, just hit triangle. Brings back up the contract to make sure. Wait, you know, if you want to make changes before you start the mission, and then hit back if you want to read it. This is basically just a defense mission. So we'll go to oh shit, crap, that was not good. I didn't repair. Now, had I repaired, I would have had to wait however many days it would take to complete the repairs, because this is the only mech, the other mech's being repaired already. So before I could start this mission, I would then just have to wait the number of days before starting this mission for the mech that I'm using now to be repaired. I kind of just realized why the controls were a little bit wonky in that last mission. Would get my legs all turned around, is I normally play in cockpit. Now Lance is your squad mates. I don't have anybody right now, so there's no one to control. Advanced, mech shutdown, heat override on. I don't ever do that, but you know, you play with it if you want. But arm lock on or off. Again, because I don't have any weapons on my arm, I've got that arm lock on. And then throttle DK is under advanced. Camera, you've got the drone or cockpit. Night vision on or off. And then when you do have a lance, and other mechs in your squad, or it's not called a squad, it's called a lance. A lance is up to 4 mechs. When you do have a lance and other mechs in your lance, you can then switch mechs. So this is the mech that I'm actually in right now. But again, if I had a lance and other mechs in my lance, I would be able to switch to which mech that I'm controlling.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
And helicopters can land on you. They will do damage if they land on you.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Now you really don't want to do what I just did. Those SRM, now if that was an LRM carrier, it can't even shoot you at that range. Like you can't shoot long range missiles short range, it just won't let you. But short range missiles do more damage. They're just dumbfire, they're not guided. You point and shoot. So short range missiles, because they do more damage, that is an SRM carrier. It's got 2 SRM-10s. That could be devastating. Like that, for this light mech, that thing could seriously destroy this light mech. So you really don't want to get up close on those SRM carriers, because they can wreck your ship. They can be very devastating.
They're headed for the company's main processing facility on the other side of the mountain. You need to get there and thwart that attack.
And then the short range missiles only go so far, so you really want to take out those SRM carriers at range. And as long as you stay moving, you know, it's harder to hit a moving target. So the faster you're moving, you're going to evade, you know, a lot of attacks, especially from like SRMs. So if you're engaging those SRM carriers at range, you know, even if you are in range, you know, for them to fire, well, they're not guided. So there's a good chance if you're moving, you know, it's going to miss. And the way it factors is there's a number of missiles in that salvo. Well, they're not all going to hit you, and they're not all going to hit the same location. Missiles kind of spread out. That's why it's so devastating, is because it'll do damage to just multiple areas of the mech. All right, now this thing over here is kind of like messing with my sensors. You see how it's like glitchy, or you know, like twitchy, whatever. How you want to say, glitchy, twitchy, whatever. So it's that thing right there.
Okay. With that jamming device eliminated, your sensors should have cleared up.
Since I have jump jets, I don't need to go down this long winding path. I can
Your
just.
onboard radar should also be operational now. You'll be able to detect enemies at a significant distance. Just in time, too. That mining facility
And I just
is
noticed
getting
one of my
into
torsos.
Jump jet fuel.
There's the facility. Destroy those radar
And I
units.
damaged my legs because
Roger that.
I didn't use my jump jets properly to like break my fall.
Destroy our facility. It's all we have.
Like I could have just free fall to the point where I was almost like got closer to the ground, and then do a full burn to keep from hitting the ground as hard, to keep from taking damage to my legs. I mean, you can drop from any distance, but you'll take damage to the legs. Now I noticed too that the armor, if you look at the bottom left corner, the armor on one of my torsos is gone. So my structure's in yellow right now, which means it's not taking heavy damage, but it's still taking damage to the structure of that torso, the right torso. And having said that, any damage to the structure could damage whatever's in that torso. So weapons, the 2 lasers that's in that torso, could now be damaged and destroyed.
Target acquired.
If there's any ammo in that, any hits to that structure has a chance of detonating the ammo, which will then completely just blow off the torso.
Target destroyed.
But again, I kind of forgot to repair this mech before starting this mission, is why I'm so beat up right now, because I've done 2 missions without repairs.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Which means, again, those SRM carriers would really wreck my stuff. Especially if they hit that torso. I would lose the torso, the arm connected to the torso, and the 2 lasers in that torso. And that would be a pretty hefty repair bill.
With tons of firepower. If left unchecked, it will do a lot of damage to the settlement. You should prioritize.
Now these right here, if you target those engines, you'll take them down quicker. And again, because this is torso, not arm, I can't even reach that one. I gotta back up here. Now if I had lasers on my arms, oh shit, now I'm doing damage to the facility.
That should make the mining company happy.
Alright, that's it, they're done.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, if I had those lasers on the arms, I would have been able to hit that helicopter, no problem. Ranked up. That's my mercenary unit, went from rank 1 to 2. So that also adds negotiation points. Alright, now this weapon right here takes 2 points, not 1, to claim as salvage. But if you look right here, I always look at the value. So I've got 3 LRM-10s that are 1 point each. So I can use my 3 points, that's 300 total. Versus if I take one of those and one of those, that's only 262.5. And then I usually hang on to that stuff until I max out my reputation with one of the houses, that I can then sell it for the most value. Because again, your reputation also increases the your merchant, your buying and selling prices in the market, and the markets are usually run by the area, the house
Commander,
that controls the
it turns out
area
the
you're in.
bastards who attacked
Is
us
normally
and
how the
set up
markets work.
blockade are a mercenary outfit by the name of Black Inferno. Unfortunately, That's about all we know at the moment.
All
Inform the
right,
crew
so
of the
basically
road.
what she's saying is that mercenary group that hit us in the beginning and killed, killed our dad, and then we had to run. We're basically still on the run because it's like they were, their purpose was to take us out. That he was just telling, Fahad was just telling us the Centurion is ready. Let's make sure I've got time for this. I got less than 20 minutes. Should be able to do it. Still going to go full C-bill payout because, again, there's not really much salvage. I could go damage, but I don't plan on taking that much damage, so I'm going to go with salvage. And we're going to switch to the Centurion now. And then we need to make sure and repair this Javelin. Alright, deploy.
Attention. Prepare for battle-like departure. Warning. Hangar doors open. Stand clear.
Now after this mission, well, after the fourth mission, we'll be into the free roam. Now we've got long-range missiles on this one, but you got to lock on for long-range missiles.
With the bull, you get the horns.
That's it. Exactly.
Let's go into weapon groups. All right, so the AC-10 is on the right trigger. LRM-10 is on the right bumper. Two medium lasers on the left trigger. I'm going to leave those two grouped because it's good to fire two at the same time a lot, for a lot of targets. If I had like three, I'd go ahead and do it like chain fire. But what I'm going to do is switch one of these. You can punch. Even though there's no hand on that other arm, it's a barrel, it's a gun. It can still do damage when you punch. So I got that on, well, let me put the hand on 4 and the gun barrel on 5. 4 is the left bumper, 5 is the right joystick. You press down on it. Oh wait, no, the right joystick is zoom. The left joystick is punch. Or that's 5. Button 5 is the left joystick. And I got the arm on 4. Let's go ahead and switch the camera, cockpit. Alright. Now again, I can keep moving straight while I turn my torso to engage the enemies that's going to be popping up here on the left. Again, missiles need to lock on.
Target destroyed. Target acquired.
As I said, it's a little difficult to hit moving targets. Sometimes you have to lead them.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed. Incoming missile. Target destroyed. Target acquired.
AC-10 is a good weapon.
Keep an eye out above you.
Like I said, sometimes, I mean, you have to, it doesn't like lock on. It's not a guided, it's a point and shoot. Sometimes you gotta, learn how to hit moving targets.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Now it does seem to have a little bit of a tracking when it comes to those air units. For some reason, the AC-10 does seem to have some type of a tracker to where it just seems like it's easier to hit
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
when you're shooting at those air targets. See that like that? I don't have to lock on for buildings. I can just point and shoot my missiles at these buildings. Because that's my objective, is to destroy this settlement down here. And you see that health bar, it's at 80% already.
There's the raid base. Eliminate all enemies and raise it to the ground, Commander.
Copy that.
Target destroyed.
And again, especially when you're trying to back up, your legs can definitely get twisted around.
Time to
Gets a
finish
little,
destroying that base, Commander.
See, look, my missiles have already taken this thing down so much. Like, I don't have much more to go before it's completely wrecked. And autocannons do a good job, too. Autocannons do a lot of... Oh. Alright, you.
Excellent work, Commander.
There we go. We did enough damage. We don't have to destroy everything. We did enough damage. Mission complete. We can get out of here. "47 minutes, or 48 minutes actually, so plenty of time to now there's going to be a mech in this one, in this mission. We're going to take out a spider mech. Now that autocannon is on an arm, so what I want to do is go back to advanced, turn off that arm lock, because now I have a lot more range of motion and targeting periphery, let's say. Alright.
Target destroyed.
Yeah, a lot more range of motion, so I can target all the way up to there. See the torso. Torso stopped right there, but yet my arm can go all this extra distance right there. So it's better to have weapons on arms because you have so much more range of motion and field of vision as far as targeting is concerned. Field of targeting, there's a good word to use, or a good thing to call it. There might be an actual way to like say that correctly as far as game terms are considered, but I don't know what they are. So
Remember your combat training,
field of
Commander.
targeting sounds
Enemies will have
great.
a harder time hitting you if you keep your mech moving. I advise you to stay mobile and keep to longer ranges.
Alright, destroy the spider mech, which is behind me. Like I said, these things are fast. Now, the third way to take out a mech that I didn't get into earlier is the head. So both legs, the center torso, and the head. And she actually told us one of these legs is damaged. So if we focus on the legs, and that's a good way, but you notice how I just fired right between the legs? It's crazy, but you know, it happens. The little bastard's fast, so he's hard to hit.
It makes support with speed and agility. A deadly combination if it gets into your blind spots. This one seems
One
to
leg's
have
down,
pre-existing
both legs are
damage
down,
to
so
its
it's
right
destroyed.
leg. If you're
Now that's a
having
good
trouble
way
hitting critical areas,
to get
try
to save
focusing
salvage.
right there instead.
Because blowing
You
off
may
its
be able to
arms,
wipe
blowing
out
off
its
its
mobility
torsos will
advantage.
destroy the weapons in those areas.
Nicely done, Commander. Get to your
Destroying the
extraction
center
points.
torso, again, could cause an explosion that can destroy everything. So taking off the legs is good for salvage. They don't always show up on the salvage list. It's a heavier repair build than taking off the head. But if it does show up on the salvage screen, you know, that's a good way to get salvage, is to blow off the legs as far as, you know, keeping the weapons intact. Taking off the head is the most effective way, like, as far as salvage is concerned. If you take the head off, and don't do a lot of other damage, you know, just like, let's say, minor damage to the armor, and you take the head off, it's a $350,000 or $350,000 C bill is what it's called. So 350K C bills to replace the cockpit. That is, the cockpit's always in the head, or the cockpit's considered the head, even if it's on the front of the torso sometimes. Like a belly button, almost. Like the cockpit's kind of like on the belly button sometimes, but it's considered the head or a cockpit. 350K to repair that. That is the cheapest way to get a mech, and maintaining, keeping all of the weapons intact, and even components like jump jets. There's other components, not just weapons. Looks like that's actually the best value. Okay. So we really didn't take a lot of damage. 49 damage, but I mean, if you look at the armor, nothing's in red. It's just little minor dings on the armor.
Hey there, Gov. Oh, here we find. You know what, all right?
And then we want to make sure and repair this before the next mission. Now this is when, since I got a little bit of time left, I got like seven and a half minutes left, so I got a little bit of time left and don't have enough time for the next mission. I'm going to go ahead and start going over some things in this refit here. So we got to load out, hit the pad button on the middle of the controller to bring up the full details. So everything is now repaired where it was all damaged before. It's all repaired now. So I'm going to hit repair all as far as repairing the armor. I'm going to remove this extra ton of LRM ammo. I don't need 2 tons of LRM ammo. So I can either put another ton of AC ammo on here. I got a ton to work with. These heat sinks are 1 ton each. I could put an extra heat sink on here. But what I want to do is put some more armor on here. The head being a way to take down a mech, just completely destroy a mech, or not destroy it, but, you know, basically kill the pilot. We want to put some more armor on the head. That's for certain. Torsos, I always run max torso armor. I mean, I try to run max armor as much as possible. So we definitely have room. And if you notice, the armor only weighs like a little bit each point, like 0.03. And like I said before, 3/4 on the front, 1/4 on the rear. So again, the front should be 3 times what the rear is. So we got 12 on the rear. That would put 36 on the front. So the total is 48. That works. And we still have some extra armor to do. Now this arm, there not being anything on it weapon-wise, I can take some armor out of this arm. I don't need all that armor in that arm. If it blows off, it is a little bit heavier on the repair bill, but it's not like I'm losing anything. I can just repair the arm. It costs a little more money, but that's where you can put negotiation points into damage repair, into damages in your contract as well. So it all works out. I think I can go 16 and 48. Yep, 16 and 48. And I still have... Now this being a weapon in here, we definitely want to keep that arm maxed out. But legs, another way to take out the mech is taking off both legs. So we want to make sure and protect those legs. We could probably put a couple more points in each leg, and boom, there we are, even 50. Now I could go ahead and take some more armor out of that arm to put into the legs, but legs are pretty hefty on the armor anyway. Like, the only thing that's got more armor than the legs is the center torso. And actually, the 48 I've got on the front is the same for each leg. I can max it out at 48 on each leg, which is the same as the front armor on the center torso. So, or I could take some more armor out of the arm to put into the head, but 24 is pretty good. but considering again, taking the head off will, you know, cripple the mech as well as possibly kill the pilot. Well, it's going to kill the pilot. The head gets taken off. It's going to kill the pilot, and the pilots can get wounded as well by headshots. Even if it doesn't kill them, even if it doesn't go through the armor, just getting hit in the head, it's like, you know, it's an impact type of thing. You know, it's going to jar the pilot around in the cockpit there when it takes a hit to the head. So yeah, your pilots can definitely get wounded and even killed. So I think I'm good with this refit here. What I normally like to do though is completely take off the 10 rack and use an SRM6 because it's lighter. There's another 2 tons. I can go ahead and max out that armor. Another thing I like to do is actually change out the AC with like a medium rifle, which I don't have any medium rifles right now, or even like an AC5, which is, you know, there's 4 whole tons between an AC10 and an AC5. But considering I just started, it's a brand new playthrough, and we've only done just 3 beginning missions and got crap for salvage. Like literally there was nothing worthwhile in that salvage. Nothing that I would actually use, just stuff that I can sell, you know, once I get to where, you know, I can max out the sell price, then I'll sell it all. But I mean, I could put some more heat sinks on here, because if you overheat, your mech will shut down until it cools down and then power back up. So you definitely don't want to overheat in battle, because then you're shut down and you're just a sitting duck. But I could either put some more heat sinks on, put some more AC-10 ammo. Each one of these is 40 rounds. So 2 tons gives me 80 rounds, which actually is good for a mission. You really don't need more than 80 rounds in a mission. But that's not true in all cases. Some missions do go on longer than others, especially ones that don't really have a definite end. Like you can just, enemies will keep coming as long as you can like maintain, you know, sustain the battle. You know, but if you're running out of ammo and you're getting limbs blown off, you want to go ahead and get out of there. And you'll actually get extra payout for the more mechs that you destroy, or more enemies, not just mechs, but vehicles too. More enemies that you take out in those type of missions that just keep going, and enemies keep going as long as you can, you know, hold out. You do get extra payout per extra unit you destroy. But in this case, so far, I don't have the 6 rack, or I do. I think I had a tier 0 6 rack, but I don't really particularly like using tier 0 shit. So I think I've just taken that 1 ton of LRM ammo off. I was able to get some extra armor on this thing. So I'm good with that. I'm gonna go ahead and start the work order. It's gonna be 8 days. And then the next mission I can't start until those repairs are complete, which is fine because there's nothing saying I gotta start. Sometimes you'll have multiple missions that you can select that you don't have. You have a limited amount of time in between the missions. But anyway, that's for a later time. So for right now anyway, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and good luck with your playthrough and Platinum Trophy.